I can prove God exists in 2 minutes.
Same thing. I don't agree on the fact that everything has a purpose. Why?
Of course it does. Tell me one thing that doesn't have a purpose.
Oh, many things.
Like what?
Nipples.
But you have faith as well.
Yeah, in agnosticity.
Good. So
But
why don't
it's
you
a faith. It's the same thing.
But it's blind faith. Mine has a ration.
ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين.
You guys believe in God? Are you spiritual? Why?
No. Her, yes, me no.
Are you Christian?
Yes.
You're Christian. Okay, that's good. Do you know what we believe about Jesus? Okay, you know. Yeah, we believe he's a Messiah.
What is that? Do you think that?
Honestly, I'm not sure I'll read it.
Would you like to read it?
No, but I think I'll have it online.
You have one online? Okay, no problem. You atheist?
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I'm more like
Agnostic.
I have no idea.
I can prove God exists in 2 minutes. I'm
Not
serious.
interested.
You're not interested in God?
No.
Do you not ask yourself why are you here? Where are you going?
I
Who
like
created you?
the idea of not knowing and just floating around.
Yeah,
I
but
like that.
okay, true. But today you woke up knowing.
No.
Yeah. So you have to know, because if you don't know, like when you cross the road, you have to know to look left or right, or you'll die. So there has to be certain things. So if you use knowing on a day-to-day basis, when you wake up, you know you have some certainties. We say the biggest question that we should ask is, who created you? Why are you here? Who put me here? Who put her there? Why are we here?
I guess things can have sense or not. I mean, it can
It
be
should
both.
have sense. Now, would you agree that the universe has been created?
No.
Okay, so what do you think the universe came from? Where do you think it came from?
You're gonna have a struggle with me, you know.
No, I don't want to have an argument. I'm not here to win. I'm just saying, just think about it. The
Yeah.
universe has to come from somewhere.
Why?
Because it cannot come from nothing. It's an
Why?
impossibility.
Why?
Can 0 equal 1?
For me, it can.
0 equal 1.
Why not?
You failed in maths.
Have you done the quantic science?
No. What is it?
You should. Quantic physics? You never heard about
Quantum.
it? Quantic.
No, what is that?
It's the science of it's physics as very, very small, basically.
It's the quantum level you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's quantum in English.
Quantum,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
bad translation
No,
with
it's
it.
fine, it's fine.
But
yeah.
basically, there are a lot of things that doesn't make sense, and
Yeah.
they work.
Like the double slit experiment.
The
So when they fire the protons through the double
yeah,
slits.
that's one.
Yes.
Or the Schrödinger cat.
Oh, okay, I don't know that. What is
You
that?
don't know?
No.
If you put a box and inside there is a cat and poison,
Yeah.
and the poison can trigger it at any time,
Okay.
but you don't know when.
Okay.
Basically, the states of the cat is at the same time dead and alive.
Okay, so because we don't know when it can.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one of the basic of quantum physics,
Okay.
and it doesn't make any sense.
True on that level, but still there is some kind of order. Like even with the double slit experiment, when they fire the photons, sometimes it acts like a wave and sometimes it acts like a particle.
No, it goes both ways.
Yeah, it does both, but it only acts one way when it's observed.
When you observe, but when you
Yes.
don't, it goes both
Another
ways.
way.
And that's the thing. It doesn't make any sense. It's like 0 equal 1.
Not really, because when they observe it, it acts in a particle. When they don't observe it, acts like a wave,
Yeah.
which is systematic. It's like me pressing a button. Every time I press a button, it acts one way. When I don't press it, acts another way. So if the photons acted differently, for example, when it's observed, it acts like a particle and a wave, you're right.
But then it means that there is a part that is based on something that behaves completely randomly
Based on observation, but
when it's not observed. And that's
True.
the base of the universe we live in.
True, but the thing is, we can't do science if, for example, there's not uniformity or regularity. For example, if I grab this and it explodes and turns into an elephant, then we have disorder.
No, science is not about assuming that it should behave in one way or another.
There should be stability.
It's to search how it behaves, but you don't know how it behaves.
But in order for us to do science, for example, when studies have to be done, they have to make sure, for example, when I'm doing a chemical, let's say a chemical reaction, if that chemical reaction acts in, for example, if I get the bottle and the bottle turns into a monkey, or I'm in a building and then I close my eyes and open, I'm in Mars, we can never do science. Science requires us to have uniformity, regularity. There has to be order in order for us to
No.
do science.
Science is to come to that.
But you can only come to that if there is order. You know what I'm trying to say?
But that's the thing. Maybe there is not. Maybe we don't know, but there is not. That's
But
the
then we
the
can
thing.
never do science. When the scientist goes to the laboratory, He's going saying there is a laboratory. I am going to go inside. I'm going to do an experiment.
But maybe something will happen that
Of course.
is
But-
completely random and you
True.
don't know it.
But he will only find that out by using order. So he will say, okay, I'm going to do these chemicals, and it explodes and it becomes pink. Then he's like, okay, I know now when I mix these chemicals, I become pink. But if there is chaos, you can't walk the street. Because if you walk, imagine you fall in the earth. Or when you walk, you fly, you go, you disappear.
But maybe that will happen in the future and you don't know. You never
Okay,
have proof
but
of
that's,
that.
But that's having faith in the future. We're saying, let's talk about what we have now.
But that's my whole point.
Okay. So
I
but-
don't know, so I'm not
Good.
picking choice.
True, but would you not say that logically and rationally there has to be a creator that created us? How? Okay,
I mean,
how?
no, it's
okay.
This is.
But let me give you an argument.
Taking a postulat, saying it has to be, but that's a postulat. That's already a belief. You're already saying it should be like that for it to work. But
It
why?
has to-
Why?
Because, for example, are you not made out of DNA?
Yeah. So
What's DNA made out of? It's 3 billion letters.
atoms.
Okay, so DNA has information.
Yeah. No. What is inflammation?
It's information. That goes coding. It's a coding. The fact that your heart is made out of
Not
DNA.
information, information.
Information.
Oh, information.
I heard inflammation. I
Oh,
was
no,
like,
no. Yeah, we get someone's information because of that as well.
Okay.
So information.
Yeah.
Information requires intelligence.
yes
your
and no.
phone-
What is information?
Information, for example, the fact that the DNA that you have in your body.
But like a proton with a wave
Yes.
is information.
Yes, but
It
also.
has zero intelligence. It's just pure physics.
No, what do you mean by physics? It doesn't act randomly. It has an order.
No, but you were talking about information.
Yeah,
Like,
DNA. Like your heart is made out of DNA. Your eyes, everything about you is DNA.
Yeah.
And the reason why you look the way you
but
look and the way
they,
I look.
they are stuff that are not intelligent or not. They are just physics and it's information.
They're sentient beings. That, for example, you know, if you have a heart attack, your body will release certain hormones. So it's systematic.
Yeah, but wait. Like for example, I studied information, so
Okay,
that's
interesting.
my specialty.
Information or information?
Information.
Information.
I did data science.
Oh,
so.
okay, interesting. So you know data science.
Yeah. I did physics and data.
Yeah.
Like a photon,
Yes.
unique.
Yes.
It has information. It is information.
Yes.
It has zero intelligence. It's just
What does the photon do?
emit light.
So that is a purpose. It's not purposeless. My argument is that if there is information in you, there has to be an intelligent source that information comes from.
Don't believe that.
Okay, you can choose not to believe it, but rationally and logically, it follows that if you have information, it requires intelligence. Like this, any book that you pick up, you have to admit that it has an author that wrote it.
Yeah, it
So-
doesn't mean that it's intelligent.
Of course, okay, no, one second. What do you mean by intelligent? We're saying that there is a being, conscious being that wrote that book. So we can come and say, okay, he might not be really intelligent, but he wrote the book. So I'm not saying he's smart, I'm saying there's an intelligence behind it. And if you are more complex, then the DNA has more information than every single book on
Yeah.
this earth. So the question we say is, where did that information come from? It has to come from an intelligent source.
I don't know because I don't have a clear definition of what is intelligence already.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what is it?
Well, we believe that it has to be one, and that he created the universe, he has to be the all-knowing.
But that's a postulat. That's a belief. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not a blind belief though. Like for
Ah,
example,
no, this
like,
is-
like
it
you
is.
believe in things that you don't see, you don't touch, you don't hear, you don't feel, you don't smell.
Whatever religion or not religion
You have faith.
is faith.
But
The
you
fact
have
that-
faith as well.
Yeah, in agnosticity.
Good. So
But
what I'm
it's a
saying is-
faith. It's the same
True,
thing.
But it's blind faith.
Yes.
Because mine has a ration. My one has my one has rational, logical argument.
No, same thing. Same thing.
You're saying there is something there. I don't know what it is.
No.
Agnosticism.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
What's agnosticism?
maybe there is, but
Okay.
I'm not picking choice,
So
which
I'm-
is not exactly the same.
Okay, so you're saying maybe, and I'm giving you evidences why it has to be for certain.
And I'm saying that no, you're not giving me evidence,
How?
but you're basing your
Okay, where does-
logic on
Rationality.
Right. The
is
logic
rational.
might be rational, but
Yes.
starting from your logics
Yeah.
is based on a postulat. And a
No, what?
postulat, I'm not sure in English if that's the right word. When you say, okay,
Position.
if we take the assumption of this,
Yeah.
and then you do your logic.
Yeah, exactly. Deduction.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But you basically based your logic on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is belief.
No, I know. I'm saying we all have belief. But for example, you have belief
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Okay, how do you know you exist? How can you prove to me you exist? I have to have faith.
Same thing. I have no idea what is existing. What is that?
You being here.
What if have you seen the Matrix or the how is it called? Like
Yeah,
the
like
Platon.
Yes.
I think it's Platon, right?
Yeah, you're talking,
in the cave, you know, that image of a guy in a cave that he's locked in a cave,
Yeah.
and the only thing that he can see is shadows of people going in front inside the cave.
Yeah.
Basically, this is Matrix. Same thing. Matrix inside is the shadow of the reality.
Okay, so then do you believe we're in the Matrix?
I'm saying maybe.
Okay, but then
Same thing. I have no idea.
But then when you wake up, why do you say, maybe I'm in Mars? Maybe I don't exist. Maybe I'm not in my house. Maybe she's your girlfriend or wife. Girlfriend to be wife, yeah? Okay, maybe my girlfriend is not my girlfriend. Maybe she's not real. You don't do that. You live with certainty. Why does it when it comes to God, it's uncertainty? You live like today, where you walking? You're going somewhere. Where you guys going?
But that's the thing. Even next day we will not
But-
be
but-
together. You don't know.
True, but the reality is that he was in his life.
Yeah, but for me, it's why in general we need to say that this religion is better than other.
Not religion, I'm talking about God. Right?
Yeah, it's the same because okay, for me and you, there is a God.
Sorry.
Watching you every day on YouTube, I just want to tell you, just do shahadah now.
Oh, mashallah, barakatuh.
Just because of you guys.
Oh, mashallah, alhamdulillah. Thank
Keep
you.
going on
Thank you,
YouTube.
thank you, thank you.
You're doing a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So to us, it's like just to understand. We believe our greatest purpose is to believe in one God, like the Creator. So I'm not going into religion.
And why not several?
Yeah,
Why not?
because
Several.
for me,
Because if there's several, that which God created which God? If there is more than one God, there has to be one ultimate
And
independent
who
being.
created that God?
So we say God. If God was created, he can't be God. So we say that he is a necessary
And why
independent being.
can't you have like several gods at the same time that didn't create each
Because
other, but
then,
at the same?
then we ask the question is that who created who and who has this
No,
will?
but maybe none. They all
No, there
were.
has to be. Okay, we say that then you have the problem of infinite regress. We have the problem of infinite regress. If you say, for example, who created that God, then I'll say who created that God that created that God, then you will never get anything.
But why do you have to ask that question?
Because it's necessary for us to ask that question. Because
Why?
otherwise,
Why is it necessary?
let me tell you why. Because if I say, for example, if I say to you, I'm going to give you this microphone, but before I give you this microphone, I have to ask someone behind me. I say, can you give me permission to give this man the microphone? And then he asks somebody else to ask somebody else. If this goes on forever, would I ever give you the microphone? No, because it's infinite.
Why do you need
regress.
someone else?
That's the point. So we say that's the point. God doesn't need another God.
But you could be several with a microphone at the same time. I don't see what's the issue.
The argument is that if there was more than one God, you will never have the universe. Nothing would start to
I
begin.
don't see why.
Because you'd have the fallacy of infinite regress. Everything's going on forever or forever. You never have nothing. There has to be one source that it began from. That's my argument.
No, I don't think so.
Of course. If it was more than two sources, then there can't be two all-powerfuls. There has to be one all-powerful. If you have two all-powerfuls, it's a contradiction. How could you have two all-powerfuls? There has to be one all-powerful.
but why are we
I don't see
talking
why.
about the power?
Because he's the one, like for example, we have power in our universe, so he has to be all-powerful. Like we need to
That's
understand.
the issue with all those powers. We have all the wars in sector because we are chasing for the powers.
No, when I mean power, I don't mean power of force. I mean the power of, like, for example, creating. I don't mean that power of war. I'm not talking about that. I mean,
But it's still, when we focus on the power in our brains, it's, you have to have a power. And that need to have all the powers causes so much
100%.
pain
No,
all over the world.
yeah, what I meant is God is the all-powerful, the all-knowing. I don't mean power in the sense of controlling. I mean God has the ability, maybe the word is ability, not power. God has the ability to create. He is the all-knowing.
Okay, but let's make another postulat.
Sure.
For example, you have several gods. Like there is several gods.
I believe in one.
Yeah, but like,
Example.
that's the postulat.
Okay.
And they all have the power to create, but they all decided to create their own universe. And for example, we have one here that created the universe where we are, but the other are created other universe
so there's
that
three
you
universes.
can't see. You can't even imagine the existence of it.
Okay, no problem. The question I'll ask is why is there three universes and three creators? Who created those creators?
No idea.
But there has to be one source. It can't be. If there's more than three, it can't be.
The fact that you say it has to be,
Of course it does, because the thing is, there can't be two wills. There has to be one
there's
all-powerful.
nothing that says that.
No, there's always-
nothing that says that you can't have several gods.
Of course, because if one says I want to go left and the other one says I want to go right, what do? They fight. And they
Maybe.
They can go left or they can go
Maybe,
right.
and
No,
maybe,
no, but the thing
maybe
is-
maybe that would
they're not
explain
powerful.
also why the world is having also difficulties.
No. The difficulty is because we believe this life is a test. We believe we're here and we're going to be tested and judged. We don't believe we're created for no reason. Everything that you have now is a purpose. Your clothes, your jacket, your watch. So imagine that if you believe the person who made this watch, did he do it purposeless? Did he make this watch without a purpose? Of course he's done it with a purpose. So how can we say the one that created you with no purpose?
But I think the
Same thing.
purpose-
I don't agree on the fact that everything has a purpose. Why?
Of course it does. Tell me one thing that doesn't have a purpose.
Oh, many things.
Like what?
Nipples.
Of course he has a purpose.
What?
No, of course it does.
For men?
Huh?
For men.
For men, there is. I don't know the reasons. Like for a woman,
There is
we know
not-
there's.
there is not
No,
anymore.
there's-
It's
there-
one thing that we had historically,
Yeah.
but now for men it has no purpose. In our daily life, there is none.
I can check. I can ask now.
I can check.
Okay.
You'll see.
Siri, what is the purpose of males' nipples? That's interesting. I've never known this before. Okay, let's see. Search Google. Because I don't know the answer. Okay, it says male nipples are a remnant of early embryonic development,
right, I'll leave you on that one.
a stage before sex chromosomes determine whether a fetus will be developed
You can
into
be
a male or
the
female.
remnants
Yes.
of early embryonic development.
So they are the purpose.
No.
Yes. While they are often considered
It's because
best,
before it ends.
Yeah.
It's because also the
So what did we need it for before?
the thing is, like, with the evolution, it had a purpose, but
Yes.
now anymore.
Yeah.
And it's also the split between men and women. It's useful for
Yes.
women, but not for men. But
Okay.
for men, it's completely useless.
Can we just read? I just want to meaning they have no current biological function. They are still present due to the way development proceeds. In reality, male nipples do have a function, primarily as an erogenous zone, meaning they can be a source of sexual stimulation.
Yeah, a bit of that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's okay.
I'll let you have the try.
yeah. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I learned something new today. That's good. I learned something new today. So yes, but the point I'm saying is this: in a nutshell, like our eyes, our fingerprints, these are things that are unique identities to us. Our DNA. So we say that there's 7, 8, 9 billion people. Yeah. So we say if my identity, my fingerprint or my DNA doesn't match yours, it has to come from a source that's willingly done that. It cannot be spontaneous because atoms and energy they're not conscious beings. They don't have a will. So it has to come from a source that willingly done the fingerprint and the DNA. So it cannot come from a source that's blind process because blind process doesn't have the properties to give to us.
I think we're gonna disagree at the end.
But it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, same. Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you.